So hope you enjoyed the starting point. So let's begin with Mauritius. So Mauritius is located in the southern hemisphere in the southwest of the Indian Ocean and above the Tropic of Capricorn. Mauritius is part of Africa and is located at 1,265 miles from the east coast of the African continent. Mauritius is a multilingual, multicultural, and multi-ethnic state that has an estimated population of about 1.3 million inhabitants. So let's discover Mauritius, my paradise island. The beauty of Mauritius does not reside solely in its beautiful sandy beaches and turquoise blue lagoon. The melting pot of different culture is what adds up to the beauty of the island and gives it its identity as a multicultural society. One only needs to observe and listen carefully to his or her surroundings to understand how culturally diverse Mauritius is. Every day, words like namaste, bonjour, salam alaikum will already give you a hint. The configuration of the Mauritian population today is the outcome of more than 400 years of colonization and immigrations. The descendants of English and French colonizers, African, Malagasy, or Indian slaves, Indians, and Chinese immigrants have shaped the multicultural society of Mauritius. Indo-Mauritian represent a majority of 68% of the population, with 52% Hindu and 60% Muslim. The Creole of slave descent and mostly Christian represent 27%. Sino-Mauritian of Chinese origin count at 3%, and the Mauritian of European descent represent 2%. Today, in this multicultural melting pot, religious beliefs, tradition, and languages mingles in harmony. Now, due to the great diversity of the population, many religious festivals are held throughout the year in the country. These fervent celebrations offer a striking and colorful show to anyone lucky enough to attend. Among the most important festivals of Mauritian calendars, I have selected some with all religion. So we'll begin with some videos, some pictures. So the first one is the Chinese New Year. So let's have a clip how Mauritians celebrated the Chinese New Year. So the Chinese Spring Festival, the Chinese New Year, also known as the Spring Festival, is celebrated each year when China enters the spring season. Every Chinese New Year is placed under the sign of a symbolic animal, of which the dragon is the most important one. In Mauritius, as in China, a Chinese New Year without firecrackers is inconceivable. In the Chinatown of Port Louis, as everywhere throughout the island, loud bangs from the firecrackers are heard all day long, as well as during the whole week preceding the Chinese New Year to ward off evil spirits. On the first day of the spring festival, the family gathers around the same table for a common meal. In Mauritius, this meal consists of several dishes with containing rice, ginger fish, sweet and sour pork, the mifun, shrimp balls, meat, and traditional Chinese food. The New Year Eve always ends with the distribution of the Fung Pao, which is a sum of money enclosed in red envelopes that elders give to the young ones as a symbol of prosperity for the coming years. For the Chinese, the dragon is an animal that represents bravery, nobility, and luck. The dragon or lion dance has an extraordinary power of fascination over people. The dragon is embellished with many brilliant colors, while firecrackers, drums, and gongs accompany the rhythmic dances of this colorful animal that is so much respected by the Chinese. So now um, we have certain pictures, like you see a pagoda, it's in Mauritius. Inside the pagoda, how it is, the snack on the festival that we make use, the dragon dance, and of course the Fong Pao. So the next one that I'm going to elaborate is on Mahashivratri. Well, now I'm starting with the Hindu festival. So let's have a look at the Mahashivratri one. So the Mahashivratri is either celebrated during the month of February or March, depending on the Hindu lunar calendar. It is one of the most popular Hindu festivals and an important event in the cultural schedule in Mauritius. A few days before the festival, thousands of pilgrims, men, women, and children, dressed in white clothes, travel from the four corners of the island, converging toward the Grand Bassin, which is the Hindu also called Ganga Talao, a lake located in the center of the island in a forest area. Hindus believe that its water is as sacred as the water of Ganges River in India. While walking to the Ganga Talao, devotees carry the cower on their shoulders and sing rhythm in praise of Lord Shiva all along their way. Along the roads where the pilgrims travel, social and family groups will tend to distribute, vegetarian snack and sweet juices to pilgrims. On reaching the Ganga Talao, where the crowds can be counted by tens of thousands, the devotees accomplish their prayers to Lord Shiva by making fruits and flowers offering at the temple. Then the sacred water from the lake is collected to be poured afterward on a Shiva lingam. Well, the Shiva lingam is a representation of Shiva cut in basilic rock in a temple found in their place of residence. So as here you can see, we have the lake, we have devotees praying, we have offering. Here also you found the way Grand Bassin with their cowl and food donation. The next one that I'm going to elaborate is on Diwali, the festival of light. So let's have a look at Diwali. Diwali. Diwali, the festival of lights, is celebrated in the month of October or November. This joyous Hindu festival of light symbolizes the triumph of good over evil and the victory of light over darkness. In Mauritius, Diwali is celebrated by Hindu and non-Hindu, where elephant oil lamps are lit in the glory of light by being placed in front of every home, turning the island into a fairyland of flickering lights. On the day of Diwali, after the morning prayers, women and girls get busy at home with preparing sweets of various shapes, and gato patat is a must. The night of Diwali enlightened the entire atmosphere of Mauritius. Diwali sweets will be shared with family members, neighbors, and friends of any faith. Houses are decorated with tiny multicolored electric bulbs, and oil lamps are placed in rows in the yard, forming the symbolic pattern. So as you can see here, these are the, you will see here the traditional gâteau patate, which is a must. Okay, the Mauritian, most of the time we do it. Now, we are going to move to Kavadi. So let's have a look at Kavadi. The Thaipusam Kavadi is celebrated in January or the beginning of February. Over 10 days of fasting during which prayers are offered to Lord Muruga, the Kavadi bearer observes celibacy and take only pure vegetarian food. Some devotee will have needles or veil skewers fixed over their body or through the tongue and cheeks. Then, in a great procession that lead them to the temple or kovil, they will walk barefoot on the hot asphalt to accomplish the symbolical penitence that serve to destroy the self-ego and the sins of self-pride. So these are certain moments of Kavadi. The next festival that I'm going to elaborate is on Holi festival. This Hindu festival is as colorful as many legends from which it originates. As part of the festivities, celebrants playfully throw color, water, and powder on each other in a show of joy, song, and dance. On the eve of Holi, a bonfire is lit up to mark the triumph of good over evil and the celebration which represents love and brotherhood. The next one is Idul Fitr. Idul Fitr is celebrated by our Muslim community. So let's have a look about Idul Fitr. Every year, Muslims around the world anticipate the arrival of the holiest month of the year. Muslims observe a month long of daytime fasting, which is referred to as Ramadan. Muslims believe that this month is filled with blessing and it is customary to wish them well at the beginning of the month. During the sacred month of Ramadan, Muslims abstain from food, drink, and other physical needs during the daylight hours from sunrise to sunset. As this is a time to purify the soul, refocus attention on God, and practice self-sacrifice. At the end of Ramadan comes the Eid al-Fitr, that is the festival of fast breaking. This is where a new crescent moon appears. The atmosphere is very warm and friendly, and partying often goes on well into the night. Muslims give each other small gifts and wear new clothes. Children receive money from their parents, relatives, and older friends. Special feasts are held where the traditional biryani dish and dessert adorn the table for days. So here we have certain pictures. Here is the special biryani. We have a mosque. The next one is the Father Laval. So let's have a look. In order to understand why for the Laval pilgrimage, let's learn about Jacques Désiré Laval. Well, Jacques Désiré Laval was born in France, and after studying medicine, he decided to become a priest. And coincidentally, he was proposed to travel to Mauritius in 1841 to evangelize the free slaves after the abolition of slavery. His heart went out to these people who, even after obtaining their freedom, were still treated as inferior. To get known them, he learned the Creole. To be like them, he fasted every day and slept on a bed made from a wooden packing case. As a doctor, Jacques was known as a friend of the poor. When he died in Mauritius in 1864, there were 40,000 people at his funeral of all community. In 1977, the Mauritian government decreed the 9th September, the anniversary of his death. So a growing number of people now proceed on foot to the tomb of Father Laval at Sainte-Croix on the 8th and 9th September every year, which is known as the Father Laval pilgrimage. On this occasion, on the roadside are invested by individuals selling Christian amulets or people offering food and drinks. The next festival, I'm sorry, we have certain pictures here. You can have an idea how it is. We even have the Pope who visited the Père Laval. The next one, we have Easter. Well, this is the Christian holiday celebrated on a Sunday, mark the resurrection of Jesus Christ and also the end of the 40 days of the Christian fasting. In Mauritius, Easter is synonymous with prayers, family needs, Easter egg, and to top of it, a trip at the beach. And the last one, we are aware of it. It's the 25th December, the Christmas, which is important to all Mauritians. We celebrate it for the birth of Lord Jesus. Now, before going to the last one, I would like to provide to you the glimpse of religious building that we had in Mauritius. Let's have a look. Mauritius organizes the traditional events, cultural, etc. And we have one eco-responsible festival, the regatta. And I think this is very important for everyone to know about the regatta. A regatta is a competition where there are one or more races of either traditional row or sailboat, locally known as pirogue. It is a colorful ballet of balls for the eyes. The regattas are typically held to share moments with other sea lovers. It is an opportunity for popular gathering. It is also a chance for local fishermen to show off their sailing skills and the traditional sailing of Mauritian. It is located in Mayberg, and on that particular day, the Mayberg waterfront is crowded with supporters and those who are curious about this competition. So whenever you come to Mauritius in December, do come to the world of regatta. So a short clip about how it is. Now, let's move to the clothing. The multi-ethnicity of Mauritius can also be reflected in the different type of clothing. Here we have the Hindu, the traditional sari and churidar are mostly worn by women during religious ceremonies or even wedding. It is very common to see some elders in Mauritius even wear these traditional clothes on a daily basis. Kurta are worn by men mostly during religious ceremonies and wedding. In the Islamic community, churidar and head veils are mostly worn by women, while white and black robes are mostly worn by men. Younger generation, along with their parents in Mauritius, irrespective of religious faith, adopt a more modern style on a daily basis by wearing jeans, t-shirt, skirts, and dresses. Well, there are no restrictions as such when it comes to the choice of outfit in Mauritius. But when visiting religious places in Mauritius, wearing short dresses or shorts and revealing clothes should be avoided. The next one is about language. The multi-ethnicity can be seen through various aspects of one, which is language, and the majority of Mauritians are multilingual. They are fluent in at least four languages, namely we have English, French, Asian language, while these three are being included in the school curriculum. And Creole, well, Creole is our mother tongue. Asian languages such as Hindi, Tamil, Marathi, Urdu, as well as Arabic, has been passed down from generation to generation and are still spoken in present Mauritius. So let's talk a bit about the Bhojpuri language. The Hindu of Mauritius have developed their own dialect as the Mauritian Bhojpuri language, derived from the Bhojpuri language, which originated in India and is spoken among the Indian diaspora throughout the world. When the indentured laborer traveled from India, well, here I'm talking mainly from the state of Bihar, to Mauritius during the 19th and 20th century, they also brought along their language, the Bhojpuri. Throughout the years, the Bhojpuri evolved into the Mauritian Bhojpuri through everyday conversation. However, even if the Hindu reside in all corners of the island, the Bhojpuri is mainly spoken in the villages as a cultural identity. The next language is the Creole. Well, my dear friend, Creole is the most spoken language among Mauritians. Creole is largely based on French with some ingredient of Hindi, English, and Chinese. The Mauritian Creole is unique to Mauritius as it has developed with the contact of people speaking different languages. If you come to Mauritius, you're likely to hear a very interesting accent when conversing with local in Mauritius. So let me give you some example. So when someone say bonjour, it's mean good morning. Que manière? How are you? Merci, thank you. Correct? All right. Qu'est-ce ça? What is this? Où compte Maurice? Do you like Mauritius? And the last one, que te rester? Where do you live? Now, definitely when we are talking of languages, the very rhythmic Mauritian siga is another legacy from the slave. In this time, they gather at the end of a hard day work to express the suffering of slavery via a festive tropical dance. Traditionally, it is accompanied by a cylindrical drum, the ravan, a triangle, and a maravan. Well, a maravan is the second picture that you're seeing. It's a box filled with seeds that once shaken produce a creaking sound. Nowadays, it is played with modern instruments such as bass, guitar, or drum. The music has been passed on from generation to generation and is appreciated by all members of the community. Evenings are organized around campfire on the sand with beautiful girls in sensual and colorful wavy robes dancing vigorously and men worn a baggy shirt and a white pants. So let me show you a short Sega dance of Marie. Now let's move to the Bhojpuri music and dance. Just like the Siga, a unique style of traditional music, the Bhojpuri music has appeared in Mauritius and gradually developed during the social gathering, wedding, and other celebration. Originally played with traditional instruments such as the dholak and Indian drum, the harmonium, and makeshift instruments such as kitchen cutlery. Bhojpuri song form part of the national folklore of Mauritius. So let's have a little. Now, let's move to the family context. In Mauritian society, there is a strong emphasis placed on family solidarity. Indeed, Mauritians tend to be family orientated and will often put the needs of their family before themselves. Well, in Mauritius, we have mostly three types of family. We have the extended family, we have the nuclear family, and we have the single parent family. The next one is marriage. Most marriages in Mauritius occur within the same ethnic group. Only about, let's say, 88% of marriages are inter-ethnic. So here, the first one, we have the Hindu with lots of ceremonies and many days. We have the Muslim families, which they do the nikah. And we have the Catholic, where they get married in a church. This one is one of the most interesting one, the Mauritian cuisine. The Mauritian cuisine is a true reflection of its population mixed origin, a blend of flavors and colors that has preserved the diversity of the population roots. A host of exotic flavors emanates from this cuisine, consisting of a variety of vegetables, chicken, fish, seafood, where rice predominates and where tomatoes, onion, garlic, and many other spices hold a special place in nearly all accompaniment. Now let's elaborate more on the dishes and their roots. So here we have the French flavor. While the French took control in Mauritius, as my friend has already said in the first session in 1715 and ruled it for most of the next years. Although the British Arabs the French in 1810, they still have a strong influence on the area. Dishes like coq au vin, chivet de lièvre, and bouillon are still popular. Among the dessert, we have tart filled with bananas, croissant, and baguette were consumed. The next one is the Indian flavor. Well, the Indian workers brought a mixture of culinary influences with them. The workers came from different parts of India, so elements of both northern and southern India cuisine can be found in Mauritius. This means that there isn't just one type of curry on the island, but my dear friend, dozens of widely differing variations. The main ingredients such as duck, chicken, fish, meat, seafood features in the curry. Curries are served with chutney, pickles, and lentils. We also have the paratha. The last one is the paratha, which is similar to an Indian paratha, which is eaten with curries. The next one, we have our Muslim community that most of the time they prepare the biryani. And we have the Chinese cuisine where the Chinese immigrant have played an enormous contribution of making rice and noodle part of the staple diet of Mauritius. We have the dim sum boulette and boulette. And we also have ackien, which is very popular in Mauritius. We can't leave the seafood of Mauritius because seafood takes a big portion of the Mauritian cuisine. The ocean waters around Mauritius being abundant in aquatic life, it can be very confusing to choose among the wide variety of fishes and other seafood. We have the marlin, we have the lobster, we have crab, we have giant fresh fruit water crawled fish like carang, bielle rouge, tuna, captain. All these are sold right alongside the coastal roll just after morning fishing catch. However, we must be very careful when trying seafood where we have allergy. Now, this is something that everyone who come to Mauritius should see it. The Mauritian style fast food, the street food. So let's have a short video about the street food of Mauritius. Well, now I stop here because I'm showing you the dal puri. The dal puri is considered to be the national fast food of Mauritius. These tasty split peas flatbread bread are served warm with a variety of fragrance, curries, ashor, rugai, and tandi chutney. Here we have some example of the street food. Well, we have the gâteau piment. The gâteau piment is made of yellow split peas, we can say it as dal or dol, shallot, coriander, cumin, red or green chili, and it is deep fried with a crunchy golden brown. Delicious when eaten on their own, they are also enjoyed in hot, crusty bread with butter. We also have the samosa. These triangular pastries can be filled with a variety of ingredients. but are traditionally made of spicy potatoes, deep fried until crispy, and served with dipping sauce for a light, tasty snack. Here's a dal puri one. So this is our dal puri. We also have some Mauritian delicacies. Like here we have the pudding maize made from maize. We have putu made from rice. We have gato kuku made from coconut. We have merveille. We have gato manioc, and we have tekwa. Now there's something that we should not forget is the African heritage, which is the Creole rougaille. This is a hotly Creole style tomato-based stew, is made with a robust blend of spices and is commonly used as a base in many local recipes. It is delicious both as a vegetarian dish or with various ingredients such as fish, chicken. And we must not forget that we have our, what we say, the poisson salé. It's a salted fish that we use it in the rougaille. And we must not forget our Mauritian drink. So we have tea right here in Mauritius. As we are an island with so much plenty of fruits, we have many fresh juice. We also have our beer, and the last one, which is aluda. This is where all Mauritians go mad over the gelatinous milky drink aluda. Well, sometimes it is plain, sometimes it is colored with pink or green. It is made with dissolved agar-agar, basic seed, and vanilla essence. So look out for it when you come to Port Louis. So that's the end of my presentation on the lifestyle of Mauritius. I hope you have appreciated it. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, CM, but then I was really happy because at first I saw how diverse the culture of Mauritius when it comes to lifestyle. You 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 give thanks when it comes to the Asians, okay, the Chinese, and then you also celebrate this wonderful festival of your brothers and sisters who are Muslim, and then the Hinduism. Actually, my dad is a Muslim. That's why when I saw the celebration, I could relate on that one. Okay, but I'm not a Muslim. It's only my dad. Okay. But I was really happy to see how really diverse the culture of Mauritius is, despite of the wonderful country, but then you immerse yourself. And then at the latter part, the food, the one that you mentioned, Miss Drishti, the one with the maize. In the Philippines, we call it mais. And then the potu, we call it puto here. So we could really relate to most of the presentations when it comes to lifestyle. That's why I'm really happy. I was smiling the whole time you are presenting because it's like I'm in our country, but then yours is, well, actually the beach is so beautiful. I just went last month to this wonderful island here known as Boracay. And when I saw the beautiful beaches that you've shown, it brings back good memories. So, woo, that was great. Congratulations, Miss Drishti.
Thank you.
That was really awesome. And yeah, now it's time for the Philippines to show our lifestyle. in our country. Yet it's really simple actually. But then I hope our Mauritian friends will enjoy it. And by the way, Teacher Brenda, I also invited one of our new members in our quarantine team. Okay, her name is Jessa, and she's here observing and watching our presentations.
Nice.
All right, Sian, the floor is yours.
Okay. Mauritius and Philippines has really in common the beaches, the beautiful oceans, and the food, and of course the Chinatown. We also have Chinatown in Philippines, and we some Filipino Chinese we call them Chinoy. They celebrate also the Chinese New Year here in Philippines, and we have the food which is the tikoy from Chinese, I guess, and also I will discuss later on one food from Chinese. And now I am going to share my screen, and I hope you learn something and enjoy my presentation. So just let me share the sounds. Okay, is it visible now, teacher? If
Yes, Ian, it's
is it
visible. Go ahead.
okay? There is no other windows overlapping my presentation, teacher.
No, 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 no. It's
No.
up to you.
Okay. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so hi everyone. I am Sian, 21 years old from Philippines. I'm at third year college, taking up my bachelor's degree in an education major in social studies, and I'm going to discuss how to live or living like Filipino. So first one is our some sorts of recap from on the history. So this is Spanish flag. Spanish colonized Philippines for over 333 years, and they changed our country from our clothes, from the street names and everything. But here are the most before that, and of course, Chinese and American. So American colonized Philippines for 48 years. So one of the most seen influence of Chinese in Filipino is that celebrating festivals. So later on, I'm going to show the video where Filipino celebrating and giving rituals. And so this one is um, festivals, and the other one is the American. They influence us, they bring us the education where until now in public and private schools, um, we are mandated to speak using the English in communicating to each other, whether we are inside the classroom or we are on the corridors inside our campus. And this will help us and speaking in English to communicate to other foreigners. And of course, some sort of foods where it is really seen in Philippines, and we are making different versions, which is the burger. And now I'm going to share the festival, which is the Sinulog Festival. Sinulog Festival is where this is shows to honor the Santo Niño, the little guy that the woman is holding, where Santo Niño means is Jesus Christ, where Spanish bring us the Christianity, where they have the three goals: the gold, the glory, and what is the another G, teacher? I sorry, I forgot. Gold, glory, and sorry, I forgot.
Grace. Grace.
God,
Grace?
gold, and glory.
God, God, and glory. Okay, I think I say it. Okay, so basically, the festival is that all festival is done by dance ritual in which it tells the story of Filipino people, pagan past, and their acceptance of Christianity. So every barrio, every city, or every municipality in Philippines celebrate different festivals. So we have very colorful festival and lifestyle. So here is the video. Let me just remove the photo. Sorry. Okay, so here is the video.
2005, 2006, 2007.
It has sounds, teacher. Yes, sir. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, it's working.
2009, 2010, 2011, 2013, 2017, and this year, ladies and gentlemen, 2020. The best in street dancing, best in musicality, and the grand champion sa Sinulog Bass Sinulog Festival sa Subo. Ladies and gentlemen, Tangkog City's Dancing Pilgrims, Sinandoy Cultural Troupe.
Okay, that is how we celebrate festivals in Philippines. It gives me goosebumps because the last time that Filipino celebrate this kind of festival is 2 years ago, and because of the pandemic, we have to follow the protocol. So we really miss to celebrate our festivals in this kind of very grand. And in our festival, we have pageantry and dance competition like this one, and also the parade, the gigantic float. So I didn't include it in my PowerPoint. I'm sorry. And now we are going to my point, which is living life Filipino. If you hear the word po and opo, then you are talking to Filipino, because Filipino are known in using po and opo to give some respect to our elders, to our sisters, mother, father, and elders. So we always say po and opo. And just like this one is, oh, Philippine cuisine. So Filipino love foods, and food is life in Filipinos. So in every celebration, we are we prepare some um, foods, but not just some foods, but we in every of our meal in morning, lunch, and evening, we have rice, not just plain rice, but we make it we have some twists like rice, or this one, or Java rice. And Filipinos are eating using their own bare hands. But before they eat, we have to wash first our hands for, of course, to clean our hands. And that is how Filipino traditionally eat our food, using our bare hands. And next one is Filipino known as to have more food in their tables, eating together with the family, praying together before before eating their lunch, dinner, or breakfast. And as you can see on the picture, they are picking the food using their bare hands, because Filipino eats using our bare hands. And this is the mais, and this is when Filipinos celebrate birthdays or wedding. This is how we celebrate. We have plenty of foods. We have lechon. We have more foods. Food is life in Filipinos. We love to cook and we love to eat. And these are the two um most seen in Filipinos nowadays, because it's summer, it's so hot in Philippines. So one dessert is the halo halo. It all has these sweet beans, jellies, and also the ice cream on top and ice crush on bottom of this. And you have to shake it, or you have to, what you call this, to have your spoon and mix it all well, and you have to eat that. And this one is Shanghai. This is one of the um famous famous food in every um event or every celebration in Filipinos. This is we call Shanghai, where I think it is from Chinese cuisine because of the word Shanghai. And this is one of the some of my social media friends created some memes for this Shanghai, which they called it Target Lock, because this is so delicious and so yummy. And also, Filipino is known for their hospitality, because whenever Filipinos have their own visitors, or they have foreign visitors, or they have this kapitbahay or neighbor, they are cooking. They are not just cooking for themselves, but also they welcome their guests with a buffet with a plenty of food, eating together, talking to each other. And Filipinos are known for the smile, because later on I will explain. And the bayanihan. We call this bayanihan, or Filipinos are known for this app. We are helping each other, or we have to help others without expecting any reward. So this pandemic, Filipinos our Philippine country is locked down. No one is allowed to go outside their houses. Everyone is not working. Everyone is just in their home, and they are and then we came to the point that no some families don't have their food. They are running out of food. And then this is what some Filipinos do. We have this community pantry on the last year where it is a free food. Everyone can get food according to their need. Like you can get any food you want, but according to your needs, so the other family can get also according to their need, and everyone will have the food. And this is free food, not just for people, but also a community pantry for pets. They have free dog foods, cat foods, treats, because all Filipinos is not working. They are just in their houses, locked in, and no one is allowed to go outside because it's dangerous. But now Filipinos are working now, and our economic is now growing. But and community pantry is is not, not now, because everyone is working now. And then Filipinos is known for their smile. Whatever problems that we had, you cannot see in our eyes and in our faces that we have problem, because as you can see on the picture, it is a flood. You see, they are still smiling. They find a way to smile. Even I, you cannot see if I have a problem, because some people, you if you are walking and you just cross your lines together, you see their faces are, that they are not smiling. But Filipinos are always smiling whatever problems they come in our lives. And of course, if Filipinos is a coffee lover, um our parents or grandmothers, even one of the members here, which is the president of the council, love coffee. Every morning we have to prepare our coffee. That is our routine. We have to prepare the coffee to give us energy. And we have this we have some versions of coffee. And that is all my presentation. I hope you learned something and you enjoy my presentation. Thank you, everyone. That's all, Teacher Brian. Thank you. I hope you learned something. If you
Thank
have
you.
questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm really glad to explain or elaborate more.
That was
Oh,
really
just
Teacher Brenda, your comments.
Oh, I'm just, I think like all the Mauritians here, we have been like, wow, there's no word to describe it, the dance, as if you celebrate everything in a grand manner. Grand, how you say in French, grandiose. So you can see that it's really, the food, it just, wow, it's so, you just want to eat, if I could just jump in on the screen and just grab the food, it's really colorful. And you can see, as you said, something that despite setbacks, there was flood, but the people of Philippines, they were smiling. So this is something for us also. It gives us like lessons of life. I really love that. And I can't express it. I think all of them, all the Mauritians here will agree with me that we have learned the 3 weeks, we have learned great things about Philippines. Thank you.
Thank you. And so do us, Teacher Brenda. So do us. Me, Sian, Romel, and Catherine. You're the first country who took, let me say, who took the risk to do this very simple project. But then everything went out well. I can definitely say that everything went out well because we have related history, education, and the lifestyle. And we saw how beautiful. Yeah, we know Mauritius as this small country, but full of beautiful things. But then when you and your whole team discussed it, wow, it was simply remarkable. That's one thing that we wanted to happen. That's why we try to do this project, is to showcase each country, because yeah, we can research Mauritius, Philippines. We can simply type it in the internet, it will give us details, but it's much more different if there is a Mauritian student, a Mauritian educator, a Filipino student, a Filipino teacher who will share it. It's very different than we just look onto the on the computer rather than we tell wonderful stories. So yeah, I think we are this is the last day, and we have a small token of appreciation. Sian, you think you can present it?
Okay, teacher. Can you give me more minute?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
I'm just downloading it. Okay.
Okay, okay, sure.
Sorry, teacher.
Yeah,
But
no.
I really learned something from Mauritius. Really, I
Mhm.
didn't know that they really have these beautiful oceans and seas, beaches like
And I
Boracay.
didn't know
Really,
that they
teacher.
also celebrate Chinese
Yeah,
New
teacher.
Year. They also have a
Yeah.
Chinatown. I was really
Yes.
surprised a while ago.
Also the puto, teacher. The puto.
Yeah, the puto and the maize. When they
I thought
blend.
it's already. I'm sorry, teacher. I thought Filipinos only have this puto, but different countries po pala.
Yeah, that's why I was really impressed. And when Miss Drishti mentioned that they also celebrate Asian holidays, holidays of India, as well as the holidays of our brothers and sisters in the Muslim community. So do the history of Mauritius. I saw that there are only two countries who try to be part, or let me use the word invade, okay? And then the educational system, that was really one of a kind. Actually, when the education was being discussed, I was writing. Okay, I was writing it. Maybe in the near future, who knows? Who knows? Someone will ask, do you know something about the education system of Mauritius? Oh, let me just grab my note. Here are the things I know. So that was really fantastic, Teacher Brenda. And okay, I think there you go. Okay, so Sian, I guess the floor is yours, and maybe Mr. President, Mr. Leron, you're here.
Yes, teacher Brian.
Oh, there. I think this is your time to shine. Can you read the certificates for our participants?
Yes, teacher. Anyway, am I loud and clear?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, thank you so much, Ate Sian and teacher Brian. So okay, this certificate of appreciation is proudly presented to Miss Regina Ladsagut for her phenomenal and worthy presentation as the speaker in the cultural exchange collaboration of Mauritius and the Philippines. Given this 20th day of March 2022, signed by um, the member and the learners development of IELTA, um, teacher Brenda Rang Sauni. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong. And the member learners development IELTA Philippines, teacher Bryant B. Atensha, and yours truly, the College of Teacher Education Student Council President, Ramel Leron. And thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank
Again,
you.
I think-
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead, Mr. President. There's still more.
Okay. Congratulations, Miss Regina Latsuot. And as well as um, Chadi Drishti, also from Mauritius. Congratulations, Shadi.
Thank you.
Yes, and also as well as Yumaria, Bibi Fatima Nura, and also Miss Eva Rangshaume. Congratulations, everyone from Mauritius.
Congratulations. And if there's correction in your name, you can PM me or direct message me on the WhatsApp. Thank you.
Miss Ian will be the one to send the certificate. And yeah, Teacher Brenda, we made it. Okay. This was a great collaboration. And like I promised, the written documents, the video, I'm just compiling it so that when it comes to our presentation in the IELTA community, we have a wonderful presentation. So rest assured, I'll be doing all the paperworks and the videos. And the presentation usually happens every December. So as early as
Yeah.
now, we will compile it. Okay, so fantastic. And I cannot express my happiness right now simply because it's the last day. Okay, we've been doing this for the past 3 weeks, and we never expected that we will be having this kind of collaboration. So once again, Teacher Brenda, thank you. Miss Drishti, Miss Eva, Miss Regina, we appreciate so much of your precious time sharing the beautiful history, education, and lifestyle of Mauritius. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. This is a blast. Thank you for the information. We really learn a lot. And we are so glad. This is our first successful session. Thank you, Teacher Bryant, also.
Anytime, anytime. And like I've said, just to share with Teacher Brenda, and Teacher Brenda knows this. This is the first, and we have actually Teacher Brenda. We have already an ongoing with Morocco. We're just checking the schedules, and then we will be discussing with Ghana with Teacher Ebenezer. We will start it by April. Okay, we wanted it to be as smooth as what we have done, and then maybe if my powerful team my powerful team will be available in the next few months. Okay, maybe we will start collaborating as well here in Asia, because we wanted to do this with all the countries, so long as there's someone who's willing to collaborate. Okay. Yeah, Teacher Brenda and a Mauritian team, any last message or words for all the participants?
Okay, maybe I will ask if all the speakers, they want to say something, but for me, I was just so impressed because I've learned so much from all the speakers and about Mauritius and the research they did. I really I'm impressed really by them and the enthusiasm they put, despite the fact that they have assignments, exam, they have their work. It's really, I just say thank you to them, a big thank you, because without them, there would not have been that collaboration. And thank you again to their, I think the head of the social studies department of the MIE. Thank him so much. I always forget his name. So Mr. Ramsara, I think I need to personally, because really, as soon as I asked this, he just said yes. And here we have those brilliant speakers, Miss Drishti, Miss Regina, and Miss Humaira. And also, and thank you, Eva, from the University of Mauritius. Thank you for doing that for us. And thank you also from Philippines. I've learned so much. And I think the same with the speakers from Mauritius, that we've learned so much from Mauritius. Okay, I'll stop talking, let the Mauritian speakers talk.
Ms. Drishti, Ava, Regina, your message or last words before we, for the last session.
May I speak? It's Drishti.
Yes, go ahead.
So first of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to elaborate on my country. And frankly speaking, I learned a lot, whether it's from your education, from the history of Philippines, and even your culture, lifestyle. So I'm very happy to learn all these. So I hope if ever we have more, it would be a pleasure for me to collaborate with you more again. I learned a lot. So when Mr. Ramsara was telling me to do that, I was a bit scared because I didn't know what to talk, how to talk. But thank you to make me feel at ease. Thank you to boost thank you to boost us, and especially Brinda. She did a marvelous job, always here for us. So thank you, teacher.
Appreciate that. Okay. And anytime, Miss Dristy. Okay. Perhaps maybe Romel can invite you, may perhaps in some of the sessions. And I saw Miss Eva. She was about to give her message.
Yes, thank you, Teacher Brian. Well, I just wanted to thank you all for the opportunity you gave us during these past few weeks because we've learned a lot from our own country and from your country, and it was really marvelous experience in terms of not just sharing our culture, sharing our history, the education system, our lifestyle, but we also learned a lot from you guys as people. And from my perspective, as someone who wants to learn more about people, well, I've discovered many marvelous different people actually in that webinar, whether it's Mauritians or Filipinos. And so I really wanted to thank you for this opportunity. And I really, really wanted to just congratulate every participant in that webinar that they showed us their version, their way of seeing their culture. And that is really difficult to see when you're talking about something that is so global. My culture is that of 1.3 million Mauritians as well. And Filipino culture is that of so many Filipinos. And yet we've seen it in such a way that we could really relate to it, but also see the similarities and differences. So really thank you to Sian, Grace, and Romel for such a great experience during these past few weeks. And really thank you to you, Teacher Brian, and Teacher Brinda also, and obviously to Regina, Drishti, and Omaira for their own presentations. So really thank you for that.
We appreciate your kindness and your time, Eva. Okay, this is the second time we've invited you, and you never said no to us. Okay, so you are like, in our own words, you are like Suki. Okay, you are a mainstay in our session. So thank you, Eva. Thank you so much.
Thank you as always.
And Miss Regina,
Yes, thank you to you too. And it was really enriching for me because I was scared too. I didn't know how to present, but I loved it. I loved this experience. Thank you.
we appreciate, and the four of you who presented were very natural. That's how we see it. Okay, when you're saying that you're not that comfortable, you're not that confident, but when you are discussing it, girls, it was really fantastic. Okay, so I hope it's not only us who can listen and notice. Okay, that's why I'm gonna be compiling the video. I'm gonna be putting it into wonderful segments before we present it, but all the infos you gave, definitely it will be in there. So I think Teacher Brenda needs to go. She needs to attend an important matter. Team, thank you so much. Okay. We're down with one country. How many countries more? A lot.
More to go.
So thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, thank you. Good afternoon in Mauritius and good evening here in the Philippines. Till next time. Bye bye.